Okay, so I promised you I would make a separate video on kind of the inner part of the brain. So again, here's our sagittal view of the brain, right here. And I'm going to take this whole section, and I'm basically going to pluck it out of a model, and we're going to look at it a different way. So here's what we have, okay, when we pluck that middle section of the brain out. And now you're going to be able to really see the three-dimensional aspects of some of these structures. Okay? So the first thing I promised you is that I would talk about this lobe called the insula. It's a cerebral lobe. It's located behind the temporal lobe. Okay? So the temporal lobe would be right here. This is the insula. Okay? If we turn it this way, this would be the left insula, and this would be the right insula. Okay. The insula is a cerebral lobe. It's responsible for processing taste and a little bit of smell. Okay. Now, the thalamus, remember I told you, is two three-dimensional egg-like structures in the center of the brain. Okay. And here they are here. This is the right thalamus, and this is the left thalamus. You can see that space right in there. That's the third ventricle. Okay. So that's the right thalamus, that's the left thalamus. Remember, all your sensory information goes through the thalamus before it goes up to your cerebral cortex. The brain structure that was mentioned as part of the brain stem, and in particular part of the mesencephalon or midbrain, is the corpora quadrigemina, and now we can really see that here. So the word corpora, remember, means body, like Corpus Christi is body of Christ, okay? So corpora is body, and quadrigemina, of course, means four. So the corpora quadrigemina is these four bumps that you see right here. And they are part of what's called the tectum, okay, which is part of the midbrain. So corpora quadrigemina, you have superior colliculi and you have inferior colliculi. These are responsible for what we call auditory and visual reflexes, not auditory and visual processing, but strictly reflexes. So the superior colliculi, the two top bumps, are responsible for the visual reflex, which is basically centering an image on the retina. Okay, so as you're moving or running or walking, this part of your brain is making constant adjustments to keep that image centered on your retina. The auditory reflex, okay, which comes from the inferior colliculi, is the reflex where if a sound goes off anywhere around you, particularly a loud or sudden sound, your head will automatically turn towards that sound. Okay? So again, this is the corpora quadrigemina. It's responsible for visual and auditory reflexes. All right, I'm going to turn this around because we're going to look at some structures here on the front. I'm going to kind of tip it this way. Those are the mammillary bodies that you can see right here. Your pituitary gland would be hanging right there, okay? This is the back half of the optic chiasm, right there. And then here's your pons. Okay, now you can really see that it's like a bulgy kind of structure. And here is your medulla oblongata, okay? If you're a student of mine, photographs of this particular model will be on the exam, or if you're in lab, this model will be on the exam. You can see, again, cranial nerves emanating from this model, from the brainstem. Okay?